I'm here at St Andrew's Church in Charford at the launch of these history boards detailing the area's past. And with me I've got Annie Deeley. Tell me a bit about the boards.
Well, this all came about because I grew up in Bromsgrove. I moved away from the area for a long time, and when I moved back it was an opportunity to do research I'd always wanted to do, not here but where I grew up on the other side of the Worcester Road. And one day I asked my husband, John Deeley, whose parents were amongst the first families to move into the Charford estate after the Second World War, what year his house was built, and he wasn't sure. And so that led me to go down a rabbit hole and discover this fantastic story about the origins of the estate, the reasons behind it, the people behind it. It was a very, very difficult time, and in spite of all the hardships after the war and rationing which was continuing, Bromsgrove Urban District Council actually announced by the Minister of Health in 1946 gave powers to the council to build 550 new dwellings here, partly for the workers for the new shadow factory which was at Aston Fields, and the Darlaston-based John Garrington and Sons Limited Company took over that factory, and they had to import skilled key workers from there to get that factory up and running. But the actual estate is a stunning example of this visionary new approach to urban growth and town planning. The spacious boulevards, the houses were light, they're really well built. It was the first time for many people that came to live here that they'd had running water, hot water, an indoor bathroom, electric sockets and things like that. This is our parents' generation. It's mid-20th century history. These decisions were made at a pivotal time in Bromsgrove's history, and it's a huge contribution to the successful post-war regeneration of the town. And these boards, there are 4 of them. There's one here, one at the Charford First School, there's another one at South Bromsgrove High School, and the first one is at Humphrey Avenue, and they tell different aspects of the development of the story and why it's so important to remember this, and actually something to be proud of and to celebrate. This is a fantastic estate.
And a lot of the younger people might not remember, obviously you probably won't remember Garrington's, and the biggest forge in Europe, I believe, at one time.
It was, and on this panel here you can see some of the advertising material for Garrington's. They actually were very much involved in the crankshaft, which is what this represents. Garrington's, a factory, and they supplied the Mini, which was launched in 1959, and the Mini is representing the British motor industry. It really was a boom time economically in the early 50s for the whole country, and Garrington's is a big part of that.
And a big part of South Birmingham as well, because you've got Longbridge, and I suppose it helped.
And a lot of people in Bromsgrove, my father and John's father worked either at British Leyland as it was then, or they worked at Garrington's, and obviously the wagon works at Aston Fields as well. But yeah, this is a key part of the industrial history of the whole area.
And what would you say to people? Because obviously they'll see these boards popping up. Would you say come down and have a look?
I think it's just such a great story, and we've been very, very lucky to get permission to reproduce some of these photos from the Francis Frith collection. This shows the land in about 1945-47. And you can see when it was all farmland, so it's a really great story to become aware of and to see how it developed and how urban growth and town planning completely shapes our environment and our lives. It shapes where we live and how we live, the schools we go to, and everything. So there's old maps and things like that. So yeah, it's just a really good story, and it's something that everyone should perhaps come and have a look at and get familiar with.